She's alive. New cooler. Groovin'. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been building a cheap budget PC because that's all I can afford. Now, that being said, when I started this thing up, I thought the fan was making noise. It's not. I thought it was touching the wire. It's not. It's the power supply. We're going to worry about that a little bit later. But for now, because I thought that, I looked online and I looked into the computers. In the original case, there is a cylinder to a vent which pushed the heat from here out. This design, when I put the case cover on, will just push it out into the case cover, and it's just basically inside the PC itself. The original case, like I was saying, would take the CPU heat, go through the fan, the heat sink, and everything, and push it outside of the case. I like that design. So I went on Amazon, found the cheapest fan I could possibly, and this is what it looks like. And that's the fan that I got. And it's not too bad. It comes with thermal paste. I haven't been using it, been transferring it through all the PCs and whatnot. And like the idea, I don't care about the blue LED, but that is part of it. It's a really good fan for $34. And it works, well, in theory, it works really well. And it's for this style of processor, the 1156. It'd be cool if it was called the 1157, but I'm pretty sure they have a reason for calling it the 1156. And apparently it comes in red too. Didn't know about that. I would have chosen that one. Oh well, too late now. And it comes with thermal paste. I may have said it already, but it's a good fan. So, that being said, let's open it up. So it's got a different array of options for different PCs. That's your thermal paste, probably more than enough that you need. So that's really cool. Once you have this outside the box, this is what it looks like. Pretty gnarly. So with the way this is built, two things I liked about the fan. Nice flat heatsink. Some of the even more pricier ones and cheaper ones would just have the piping going right across the top part of the heatsink, and the piping would be bent in such a way that it would be like oblonged and bent and gnarled and stuff, and it's not the best setup. So finding one with a flat heatsink was perfect at this price range, $34.99. I'm gonna say that probably a lot. I don't know, it's probably the second time, so I'm gonna stop. I don't know. Anyways, this can be mounted such as like that, and it will send the heat to the outside of the case here, where I'm gonna have two little fans. Two of these guys. I'll mate them right up here, and they will take the heat out of the PC. So as you guys know, you wanna unplug the computer. Be very gentle doing this, and it's pretty easy. Just pop that out. I've gotten pretty good at doing this. Pop that out. And then the last one right here. RAM is a little bit in the way, but that's all right. There you go. And your fan is now removed. Pretty daggone easy. So reading up on this a little bit, and yes, I read the manual. The orientation is the thicker side of it goes out. So this fan, because you have the thick side and the thin side, will be fixed this way, like so. Now the other interesting thing that I read is when you are transporting your computer, you need to remove the cooler. That's cool. I've usually just gotten away by laying it down. The PC. And then obviously you have thermal paste and everything. And you want to make sure you have enough height. In this computer we do, so that you can avoid anything that might be in the way. Now, in the same note, this old build of mine made it almost impossible, as you can see, to install a proper video card. So I will have to change my cooler, as you see there, or I will have to cut the cooler to put the card in there. That's a later on video. That's also why you'll find this little guy in some of the smaller PCs. Now, these days, we have extremely small PCs that are the size of a book. So this is still way too big. So because of the type of CPU we have some hardware we have to get fastened up. This is a backplate. Some of the hardware, we have to put these wings onto the processor so we can bolt it to this piece. And then we have some sticky things and what they call nuts. And then we have the bolts right there. All this goes onto the plate. And that way it can be fastened to the CPU motherboard. So some of the instructions they gave, just as an example. Not too bad. Not going to be too hard either. But it means I have to remove the motherboard to properly install it. That's okay. Now we're at the stage to remove everything from the computer to give us full access to the motherboard. I was going to attempt to install this with all the wires still attached, but I'm like, no. It's too easy just to disconnect them and then reattach them as needed. I'm checking the instructions all the way along to make sure I'm doing everything correctly as I prep this for the initial install. And this is difficult. The packaging is pretty cool, pretty intense. So I already popped it open, so it should be semi-easier. I actually thought you had to cut it for a little bit. There we go. They pretty well protected this thing. Awesome. So now I just have to loosen these guys off. Apparently not all the way, just enough. And then, as per the instructions, I'm told you just have to slide these in here, so I have to remove some more of it. So right there. Until you feel the screw back all the way out. Right about there. A couple threads in. And apparently, you're supposed to be able to slide this on. Takes a little bit of forcing. You just kind of play with it a little bit, wedge it in there. Be careful not to bend any fins and stuff like that, and then it pops in. Just like that. And then you tighten it up, and you're good. Initially, I actually installed the wings for the processor wrong. So I had to flip them around, which is fine. Pretty easy to do. But I also had to bend them down to allow myself to be able to fasten them. And later on, I had a heck of a time trying to fasten this processor and fan to the motherboard. But you have to go slow and gentle. And there you have it, guys. This is our motherboard. Nothing too spectacular. So the next part of this is we are going to attach this to this, like so. And everything matches up as per the instructions. Very nice. At this point, I realized that, installing a new fan with this heatsink and how big it is, it's actually a lot of work. So this is the part where I got really struggling. I actually had to bend the clips like I previously said in the video. And then because it took so long, my phone died, which is fine. You just plug it back in. Not really a big deal. So that took way longer than I care to say, but it's in. So we're gonna slap it into the computer and yeah. By this point, it's early morning. I'm just gonna put a couple screws, couple clips in, and a couple of wires and whatnot, and get the computer tested. Alrighty, let's see if it worked. We still have a computer. No power. That's power on. Yep, power's on. Still dead. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. All right. Plugged in the right one. There we go. Minimum specs, as you can see. So that was a success. It took me an hour alone to install the heatsink. It is orientated wrong. It said in the manual here to have the cooler on the thin side facing the rear exhaust ports. We did that. Thin side, thick side. Downside is it is not what I want it to be. So as you can see here, the piece of plastic that's very light is now stuck to the fan, so that means the exhaust is blowing this way because it's sucking. You can tell by the fan too the way it is, but it doesn't want to stay. So it's bringing air from the outside into the CPU. I want it to be the other way, and with the way the vent fan here, or the cooling fan, is oriented with the arrows, you would think that it was blowing this way. Anyways, that could be changed later when I get a new processor. For now, pretty happy with that. A little upset that it took me an hour to actually install this thing. I am happy I didn't break the motherboard, so there's give and take here. That all being said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave them down below. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Peace.